Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's short video, I just want to say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic and your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. And thank you all for your support and help that you show and do every day to help keep this channel going. I really appreciate you all. With that said, I wanted to just stop by and give a short message. But a message that I think is very valuable and important. And though this is equally important for both the men and women on this channel, as what I'm going to talk about happens to us both. However, the example I'm going to use is going to be from the male perspective. And the reason for that is, there is something particular I've been hearing a lot on these dating channels. And I just don't want a lot of the men out there to get confused and spin their wheels and get nowhere that is productive in their search for a potential life partner. Now for the ladies, please still listen up, because you can easily swap what I'm going to say with a variety of experiences that you've had or you might have in the future that will fit what we are talking about today. So let's begin. You will hear on these dating sites, from both the men talking and the women talking, that bro, she doesn't respect you anymore. That's why she cheated. That's why she left. That's why she blah blah and blah. And at least for the guys, most of what you hear is centered around money. Oh, you can only pay 50% of the bills. Your woman doesn't respect you. And you have to understand that's why she cheated and left you for another man. Now again ladies, you can use the same or different scenario. However, this one we are talking about here, men hear all the time. And it's about money, 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 money. If you don't have a six-figure income at least, why are you even thinking about dating? Is the attitude that is given in most of these spaces. When I would say back, when you have nothing, that is the best time for a man to potentially meet a woman. Because you stand a better of a chance. Not 100%. Nothing is perfect. But you stand at least a better shot at the other person possibly liking you for who you are, instead of the money that you have or don't have. But back to what I was saying. You hear the many people in these dating spaces talk about she left you because you weren't this enough or that enough. Or you weren't able to provide enough. And at the end of it, they will say, she lost respect for you. Well, let me fill you in on a little secret. She never had any respect for you. And for you ladies, the man you were with that did the same thing. They had no respect for you either. They didn't just magically lose the respect out of thin air. The fact is it never existed to begin with. Because this person was only there for what they could get or what they thought they could get. And once the well ran dry with you, they discarded you using the good old narcissist discard and blaming you for everything on their way out the door with the new supply. And why this is so important for you to know is when you go through this type of discard and narcissistic abuse, you start to feel like you aren't good enough for anyone or anything. And you hide away working hard on your life, with the idea you will only emerge once you have your life set up perfectly. Which rarely if ever happens. And you waste your life. And miss out on possibly great experiences all because you listened to something completely false someone said to you. You ex that walked out the door that called you boring. Or that said you don't go here enough. Or you don't spend your money on this enough. And then some dating gurus that are now making millions. They tell every man, if you can't fully support the woman that you're with, None of them will respect you. And that you're a so-called loser. And if a woman leaves, it's 100% your fault. Which leads to terrible self-sabotaging thoughts. And ladies, this can happen to you as well. Now here's something or a boundary you can use that will save you a lot of time with a potential toxic partner and time waster. The moment this person you are dating starts comparing you in a negative way to others using them in a positive way to make you look bad, that is the moment the relationship is over. If someone you are dating calls you boring and says that you two don't go to these certain places enough, and they proceed to list off all of these places that you can't afford, and they know full well that you can't afford such places, and they knew from the start and said they were okay with things, now they are throwing it in your face. Do not debate with a demon, is what I like to say. Don't try to convince them that you care or love them. Don't try to list off all of the nice things you've done. Just quietly figure out what's the best and safest way to exit this relationship, because it's 100% over. These relationships rarely if ever get back on track. Even if they limp along for several years later after the first conversation like this, it 9 times out of 10 ends up in cheating. And ends up with you getting left in the dust and blamed for it when they are walking out the door to be with someone else. Here's the reality though. There are women. And I'm speaking to you men for a second. There are women that could care less what you have. They get it. They understand that the world we live in isn't easy. And as long as you are trying your best, and you care about them, that's all that matters. And for some women, first and foremost, you have a deep belief in God. They aren't constantly comparing you to this guy or that guy. They are there to help build you up and not rip you down. And for you ladies, the same goes with the men you might meet. If you are being compared and torn down for no reason, don't debate with them. The relationship is over. Things rarely get better in these instances. And just the same, there are men that won't treat you like this, and that will care about you for who you are. You know, sometimes these dating channels do make good points, but then some of these things they say just don't make any sense. Especially for the non-millionaire men out there. And how I see it is many of these types poop downwards. They become rich, and then they say, if you're not rich, you're a loser. Please keep this in mind. One of God's beloved people in the Bible was Job. And Job was turned from the most wealthiest man to the most broke man out there. And as a result, some of his so-called friends turned on him, basically calling him a loser, and that God didn't love him, when nothing could be furthest from the truth. God did love him. God loved him very much. And I have news for you. God loves you too. But you know who never loved you? The person that out of the blue said they are leaving you because they no longer respect you because you work super hard, but you happen to make less money than what they find to be ideal, or whatever other reason they can think of. No, they didn't lose respect for you. They never had it to begin with. I hope this message saves you some time and headaches and heartaches. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.